We're here. We're going to try something new this week.
I'm in a cozy sweater, not in a tank top when it's snowing.
I appreciate that. We have 3 segments today. That's how we're going to try this. Okay.
This is all new to me. Okay.
It's better. I just don't tell you until it happens.
Okay.
The first segment is going to be, we'll call it Mom Life Lately, just like a little check-in. The second segment's going to be, we can call it Millennial Must-Haves, or it can be like some of the new things you're trying. Okay. We've been talking about that a little. And then we're going to get into our topic of the day, which today is the group chat. Kids in the group chat, which I'm very excited to ask you questions about. So quick update on Mom Life Lately. I know that your big complaint of late is your daughter's hair. Go.
Oh, that one. My oldest daughter. I was going to talk about my youngest daughter. Oldest daughter, she has hair that's almost down to her butt, which she loves, and it's beautiful, but it is a pain in the butt to constantly brush. I have to wash it myself because it's so hard for her because there's so much hair. I think I'm going to have to start braiding her hair.
Or cutting her hair?
I mean, she gets cuts, but like my kids all think they're Hawaiian, and she like sees all these girls with like hair down to their butts.
Because they lived in Hawaii for a little bit of time.
Yeah, we lived in Hawaii for a year. No, my other mom life thing was my youngest, my 3-year-old who just turned 3. And she told me, I will poop in the potty when I turn 3. And she did. But now she takes like 20 minutes to like get all the poop out. She's like, there's just more poop coming. And she's not just sitting there for 20 minutes, like just waiting for the poop to come. It's coming. Like there's a lot of poop and it like fills up to the top of the potty. TMI.
Ew, she's looking at me. So gross.
Wait, oh my God.
Can we go back to the hair?
Gross. Okay, first of all, when you're a mom, poop is your life.
It's your life. But like my own kid's poop is my life. I don't talk to anyone else about his poop other than whatever.
Okay. I have pictures from people.
And I'm a poop person. I talk about poop. I have like gastroenterology problems. Like I'm an open poop person. I just don't want to hear like how much poop. I don't know. It's gross.
She has a lot of poop.
Wait,
anyways.
You didn't mention what detanglers work best because people do want to know. What are the things that you use?
So the stuff I use. So I have this cool spray bottle and I love it because it like does a continuous spray or just a spritz. We'll link it here. And what I do is I take the bottle and I put conditioner in. I use the Under Luna conditioner and I put like a quarter of the bottle of conditioner. And then I fill the rest up with filtered water and I shake it and I use that to like style their hair. Right. And when I need to like mist and spritz their hair, then the products that I love for my middle daughter who has curly hair, the Evolve Wonder Balm, best stuff, non-toxic and totally works. And it makes her curls look nice. But it's every morning I have to sit there the kitchen counter, not just the 3 girls, my son too, because he has long hair, and I'm spritzing everybody's hair. I have a hair salon going on every morning, and
I don't know. I'm really digging the military cut my son has right now.
Yeah, it's literally a hair salon.
That sounds like a nightmare. Sorry for all the long hair moms out there.
Yeah, no, it's a lot. Anyways, and I'm not like a great hair person. I can do like the basics. I feel like I need to like find the moms who like have those Instagram accounts who like make the cool hairdos.
I don't think you're going to ever be that mom.
Probably not, but I'm trying.
Lean into what you're good at. Like there are a lot of things you're good at. Why can't you just say, you know what? I'm just not good at hair.
Okay, I suck at hair.
Fine. Good. You admit it.
Admit it.
All right. Millennial must-haves. Okay. I really want to try this, and you've been trying it all.
I'm like holding it right
for
now.
24 hours, and I'm obsessed with it. So let's talk about what you're holding. Not an ad.
True Botanicals. What is it called? Pure Radiance Overnight Lip Treatment. I wore it last night. My lips are so soft. I'm in Colorado, so mind you, like if you don't drink a ton of water in really dry environments, your lips wake up chapped.
Yeah, chapped.
Chapped, is that the right word?
Chapped.
No, but I was thinking something else. Anyways, I'm obsessed with this stuff. I love it.
It looks really good for those who can't see the video portion of this podcast. It's like very shiny. It looks like your whole face is done weirdly with this lip gloss.
It's great because I never wear makeup because I don't like putting it on.
Same. Ditto. I don't like wearing makeup. And that's another thing you got me into. Any other things like clean swaps or any others for the millennials?
We're doing you got me into this, the coffee protein drink.
We'll call it Emily's Healthy Frappuccino.
Emily's Healthy Frappuccino. So when we were at Expo, we came across this amazing guy. I love him. And he's
so great. We forgot his name.
I know. Fudge you. You knew that I was thinking. I don't remember his name, but I think he's so great. I loved him, and I'm blanking on his name. Anyways, Coffee Explorers. It is the best coffee. It comes in a glass bottle. He has decaf, which is amazing. All organic. So good. Anyway, so I ordered it online.
And I've been buying it in LA. They sell it at Air One. And I put it into the blender with some almond milk, ice, and my protein powder, and some microgreens or daily elements if you don't have microgreens on hand. And then like
I had the chia seeds, or you do psyllium husk.
Yeah, I can't stomach. Back to the poop conversation.
Back to poop, you know?
I can't stomach chia seeds. They just make me turn into your 3-year-old daughter.
No, her poops are good poops.
Anyway, I can't with this.
She's like, I'm not talking about poop.
I want to say enough with
No.
dad jokes. It was a dad joke.
Yeah, you can't pull that off.
Okay. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, the smoothie.
So the smoothie. So that's my other new thing.
And I put frozen blueberries for like a touch of sweetness. I put like a couple in yours.
Oh, I do it for antioxidants, but you can add it for sweetness.
Yeah.
I just feel like the coffee flavor comes through so nicely. So it's like really easy to drink, especially if you're craving coffee.
I feel like you need to switch up the smoothies too. Like we used to do the same smoothie every day and it just got so gross. Like I didn't want it anymore. And so I like having an alternative.
That's true.
Maybe you didn't.
No, I like my routine, but this is good.
I will say my holistic dentist, which is different than your holistic dentist, did some dental work on me. And then she told me that I should have cilantro microgreens for the week because
cilantro is great for
help detox. And I needed some detoxing anyway. So I've been putting those in my smoothie all week with the coffee thing. And it was like a good detox. Okay, enough about poop.
Love how like you think I'm bringing up the poop. It's so you.
All right, so now we've made it to our third segment of the week. Drum roll, whatever. The deep dive topic of the week, which is group chat, which I'm basically making you do because, look, a lot of people are talking about how their kids are getting added to group chats. That's in my circles, I guess. I have a 3rd grader. Should I tell my little story?
Tell your story. Go for it.
Okay. We allowed him on his iPad with his own iCloud account to FaceTime with some friends over the summer because we were away and wanted him to be able to talk to his friends over the summer. I thought that wasn't a terrible thing. Fast forward.
You're looking at me.
No, I'm not looking for validation on that. And then somehow he was FaceTiming with his friends in the fall. They added him to a group chat. And that's how it began. I heard from other moms that similar things have happened to them. 3rd, 4th grade, the group chats are like fully happening in LA. I don't know about Colorado, but maybe not. People can write in and tell us about what's happening in their states. But for me and the moms that I've spoken to around 3rd, 4th grade, these group chats are happening and they're coming on quick. And it's sort of like, for us, we left the group chat and have made a conscious decision not to do it after being in it and not being in it and going back and forth and whatever. But I think that it's very hard as a parent to navigate this. And I also think that there's a pull towards it because you, of course, want your kid, or for me, want your kid to be included in something that the rest of the grade is doing and then feel a little bit guilty about them being left out, which I know what you're going to say about that, but I'll throw that out there I'll throw that out there for other moms who maybe feel that. Okay, go ahead. Give us your group chat stuff.
Right. First, this is what I do with my kids. So I know, obviously, just take it with a grain of salt and see if it works for you. Phones and iPads should not be theirs. It should be yours that they get to borrow. And why I'm saying this is because language is very important. They can say, well, this is my iPad. This is my iPhone. No, it's not. And even if you've already given them an iPhone or a Bark or a Gap or whatever, I have a blog coming up on that soon about which one is best. from like a security standpoint. But even if you've already given them a device, you can always taper back. You can always add in that language and say, your dad and I, or whatever partner, whoever, if you're a single mom, we've been thinking about it. And this is our phone. We just need to make sure you know that this is our phone. We're letting you borrow it. So you can always scale back, right? So that's number one. Number two, the group chats. The problem with these group chats is you may think, oh, it's just innocent. They're not on social media. They're not just doom scrolling, right? But the problem is that they are scrolling. There's a lot of kids and there's a lot of conversations going back and forth. And so number one, they're just all talking to each other. And you can have like hundreds of texts within, like, usually it's a WhatsApp channel or a group.
Ours is a iMessage.
iMessage, okay. A lot of groups do WhatsApp now, especially the tweens. But yeah, so you can do iMessage. Problem is you're scrolling and you're taking the time not only to go back and read through everything, but you're also thinking about it. Oh, what are they saying? What am I missing? So I need to constantly check my phone. So it's that thing of like, if you don't have your phone on you as an adult, you're like, wow,
It's the addiction of it.
The addiction, like constantly have to have my phone with me. The number of times that you think about looking at your phone, it's like hundreds of times a day, right? And so that's where kids kind of get into that when they're in these chats, that they are constantly wanting to know what's going on. The next thing that happens, the problem with these group chats, is that I find that it happens more with girls. They start to send videos.
Yes.
Of themselves, and it might be
these like
harmless.
Girls are using like CapCut, which is the editing tool
that we use.
I know, or that are like for TikTok. So
So the problem is it may seem harmless that they're just showing, oh, I'm just showing my, lovies or what I have in my room, or my dog or whatever. But you have to realize what they're wanting is they want that feedback. They want that gratification, that like external motivation from their peers. Like, oh, it's so cool. It's the same thing as like, oh, I posted a picture on Instagram. I want that like. How many likes do I have? How many comments do I have?
Who's responding?
Correct. And so you get into this really negative feedback of only feeling good when someone responds to what you're putting out there, right? As opposed to having that inner motivation and that inner self-confidence of, I know what I have, I know what I am doing well or whatever, without relying on your peers for that feedback. So those are the big problem items I find with the group chats. Now, this is not to say it's all or none. Like, you don't have to say, okay, you can't have anything.
Yeah.
There's a way to do it progressively. There's a way to do it with purpose, and being mindful about it.
Okay, give us all those tips.
Okay. Oh my God, you're making me laugh. All right. So the way to do it. So I wouldn't allow kids to be in a group chat. If kids need to text their friend something, you can ask me. Hey, mom, dad, can I text my friend X, Y, and Z? Sure. You can text them directly. It's a single text and they are having a dialogue together versus you're having this group bombardment. And the reasons why I said why I don't like group texts or group chats. So just start with that single text. And again, allowing the phone and the iPad, it's yours. I don't like having their own iCloud account. I like having it tied to the parent.
With a phone number. Gotcha.
And then, so I did a lot of doing research on this with my husband. And it turns out the iPhone is actually the most secure when it comes to parenting.
Than all these like other devices that are coming out.
The Gab, the TikTok.
TikTok.
TikTok, like TAL.
Right. Anyway, the iPhone's the best one.
Because you can actually set it up where you just have no apps on there. Like, you can get rid of Safari. You can get rid of it. Have no social media. You can have no games on there, nothing. It's just like the text or phone call and the camera. If you want to put music on, you can. And
do you allow music?
So
for your 10-year-old?
For my 10-year-old, he's about to turn 11. So it's our phone. But we got it for him when he's going to summer camp for a week, a sleepaway camp this summer. And It's in another country. And so we got him the phone, and they have rules at camp where they can't have their phone, but there's going to be times where they can have their phone. And we just want to make sure that we can connect with him and he can connect with us if there's any problems. But there's a way to set it up where it's limited time. He's only allowed to text and call certain numbers. There's a lot of guidelines there. I'm still writing it up and learning as I go because my husband's more the expert on this and he's the one who's setting it up. So this is what we've found. But again, you have to be mindful with it when you're just giving it to him. So we also decided if he were to go with a friend and go skiing, that we could give him a phone in case there was a problem. But again, when your kids are constantly asking, well, I need to tell my friends this, and I don't know what's going on with the rest of the group. This is where you have a conversation with them. You don't want to just say, well, you can't join the group. Right. This is where we say, well, this is my concern. When you're constantly looking at what's going on in the group, what are you missing out on? What would you be doing if you weren't looking at your phone or our phone, looking at the phone in the group and finding out what's going on? What would you be doing instead if you didn't have that? And we'd go through, well, you'd be outside, you'd be playing soccer, you'd be playing a game with your dad, whatever it may be, so that they understand that it's not just you saying no. Because if you cut them out and don't allow them to have this reciprocal conversation with you and a respectful dialogue, they're going to say, well, I'm just going to go behind your back. And that's where a lot of these kids, especially on the bark phones, is what I found the most common, is there's a lot of kids who can slip in and hack the phone and get social media, do all that. They can either do it, get an account like when they're at school, and then log on to it on your phone, on the phone, and then delete it. So this is why it's best to have these conversations, and we don't want to shy away from it. It's the same thing like the sex talk. Like you don't want to shy away from it. You got to come on it. And it's a progressive conversation. It's not like, okay, we talked about sex one time and that's it. It's a progressive, ongoing conversation. Same with technology.
So first of all, I'm thinking in my head this whole time that I have to change the iCloud account to a phone number now. But one of the things that I also was saying to you, my husband and I were talking about how the group chat seemed harmless. They really were mostly sending emojis. And then you were like, oh, you actually have to be very mindful of emojis.
So emojis can have a whole nother language. Kids are so much brighter. Adults, and we forget what we were like as kids. There's a whole emoji language, so we have to be really mindful of what they're actually saying. And so when you just see, oh, they're just cute little emojis, no, there's a language behind it.
I mean, it's not like an eggplant. It's not like horrible.
That's the more obvious one that you know.
Oh, whatever.
Oh my God, the eggplant and like the water spurting. Uncle Chow, I'm calling you out. Anyways, so as your kids get older, you have to be more conscientious about the language that they're using. But when you have these conversations with them and you hear them out and you tell them your concerns and say, like, tell me what you're wanting out of this, and you have that conversation, your kids are more likely to want to talk to you. They're not going to go behind your back. They're not going to think, oh, my mom doesn't understand me. They're going to think, okay, my mom's willing to hear me out and I can put together my case and we can have a conversation about it. But when we just say, no, you're not doing it, they're going to totally go behind your back. They're going to hang out with the peers that they know will listen to them. And sometimes those are the peers that's the wrong group for them, you know?
God, it's also scary.
I don't think it should be scary. I think it's a phase in life. It's a developmental phase that you experience. Like I can say I've parented a 10-year-old boy. I can never say that I've parented a 12-year-old boy.
You're getting there though.
Sure, but I'm not there yet. I don't say that I'm an expert on teenagers, even though I've done this and I've worked with tons of teens, because I've never parented teens myself. And each child is also very different. A 12-year-old girl is very different from a 12-year-old boy, or, you know.
I'd like you to also talk about how the group chat really does involve the parental community. Like, no, there hasn't been a conversation in my grade that I know of with the other parents discussing that all these kids have joined the group chat. And you were saying it's really important that the parents all talk to each other when it comes to this with like boundaries, guidelines, and things like that. And they're all sort of on the same page. I mean, that's very hard to do.
It's very hard to do. I think Jonathan Haidt is doing an amazing job at bringing awareness to it. He's done it with social media. And now he's going through and doing it with screens in the classroom, because they're coming out with studies showing that the kids are actually not learning as well on a screen as they do in a book or on a piece of paper or in a board with a teacher. They don't learn as well with a screen. And also, that's not even talking about like the blue light that messes with their circadian rhythm that they get from screens as well. And also the impact on the eyes itself. So yes, Jonathan Haidt's doing a great job in bringing awareness to it, but it's great when parents can come together. I know most schools don't have like parent teacher meetings. They do like a one-on-one, but not the meeting where it's like the teacher with all of the parents, right? Without the kids. So in our school, in our Waldorf school, that's a very common thing to do in Waldorf schools, where we have that and we come together as a class to make decisions together. You know, we're not always going to all agree. So like we are having our 3rd grade parent teacher meeting coming up. And this one is going to be regarding our social media screen time policy. And all the parents have read The Anxious Generation. I think that's a great starting point if you feel like you're trying to get other parents on board. Not every parent has the time to read the book, but I do think just at least I put together some chapters and some great parts that I think are really important to read, even though I think the entire book is great. If you can, and you've got the ability to read it or listen to it on tape, that tells me how old I am. Listen to it on
audiobooks.
Whatever, audiobooks. Okay, stop. At least I know how to use my phone somewhat. But coming together as a class, if you have just a few parents that are on the board with you, then your kid can't say, well, everyone has one. Your kid can't say, well, everyone is in the group. You can say, well, I hear you. Most kids are in the group, but you know, Johnny, Susie, and whoever are not in the group. So at least there's some balance, you know.
Yeah, it would be nice to have some parental support, I think.
Well, that's
because there's no real, I mean, yes, he wrote a great book, but there's no parenting book on the group chat because it's all happening so fast and so new. Right. And we're all just navigating new issues here that the generation before us didn't have to navigate.
Well, the concern is also the group chat, like you were telling me, that there was kids on there at like 11 o'clock at night that were messaging each other.
Yeah, there's some late night messaging, not on a weeknight, but still
a 9-year-old
that we'll see, you know.
A 9-year-old should not be up at 11 o'clock at night unless it's some kind of special occasion. You know, this is not.
I don't know what the reason was or what it was. I just walked by the iPad and it was going off. But I do know that we can't parent other parents and we can't parent other kids.
No, I think in that case, like what I would do as a parent, I would say, look, for me, I'd want to know if my kid was texting at 11 o'clock at night. If you're cool with it, totally fine. I just am letting you know. I was opening the group chat and saw it. So I'm just letting you know. And I'd keep it at that. And then I'd come together and we'd come together as a group with the class. And so I'd love to have us all sit down so we can kind of get on the same page, because if we're all on different pages, it makes it that much harder. And let's at least have a conversation about it. You may not all agree, but at least you guys can bring in your different points and where your kind of concerns are and have that dialogue.
All right. I think this was great. Anything else you feel like we haven't addressed?
I can't think of anything unless you have more questions about it.
If you have more questions about this and want us to do more on this or want us to answer more questions on social or whatever, you can DM the podcast, which is at When Millennials Become Moms.
This podcast does not constitute medical advice or recommendation. Please consult your doctor.